welcome to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him at gods5minutes@gmail.com. Now, here's Ed Wilson with God's 5 Minutes.
Hello, friends. Music is perhaps the highest expression of human passion, the first being spoken language, then language formed into poetry, and then the poem set to melody. Music can waft out the sorrows of a broken heart, and it can pour out the highest delight. There is military music and music for sports events, music that excites and music that calms. The world has its music, has always done so. Fallen Adam had a son, Cain, who killed his brother Abel and was forced into a life of exile by the hand of God. 5 generations later, Jubal was born through this lineage, and he was the father of all such as handle the harp and organ. When Moses approached the Israelite camp, which was engaged in a riotous orgy while that devout man was receiving the 10 Commandments, their raucous noise made him think the camp had been attacked. But on coming closer, he separated the sounds into singing and dance. Wicked Nebuchadnezzar used the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music to introduce a time for the people to fall down before his monstrous statue and worship. Think of the music so prominent in the world today. Music is used by the most talented performers, the most beautiful voices in our society, to encourage people to cheat on their spouses, get drunk, gamble, do drugs, live hedonistic lives. Aside from the sorrow we feel to see the terrible waste of talents meant for better things, and the havoc wrought in the lives of those who yield to the allure of the siren song and crash their ship against destruction's hard rocks. As Christians, that kind of music means little enough to us. We have our own, and it produces in us exactly the opposite results from the melodies and instruments calculated to stir carnal passions. Such music is a song written by William Ralph Featherston. It is in most Christian hymnals. It has been sung around the bedside of many a pilgrim breathing his or her last on the final steps of the journey to heaven. Little enough is known of Mr. Featherston. The available information is that he was born in 1848 and that he attended worship services with a Methodist congregation in Montreal, Canada. Sometime between the ages of 12 and 16, he wrote one song, which was the only one he wrote in his lifetime. There'd appear to be more than one story of how this song came to be known, but one is that he mailed it to his aunt in Los Angeles, and this good woman immediately recognized its merit. She is credited with causing it to first be published. Mr. Featherston rather died in 1875 before he reached his 27th birthday. Several years after that, Mr. Adoniram Gordon Judson added a melody to the poem and caused it to be published in his book of hymns. The powerful message of the poem, the lilting melody Mr. Judson gave it, have forever transformed it into one of the most beloved of Christian hymns. Here are the words of the hymn, My Jesus, I love thee. My Jesus, I love thee, I know thou art mine. For all the follies of sin I resign. My gracious Redeemer, my Savior art thou. If ever I love thee, my Jesus, 'tis now. I love thee because thou hast first loved me, and purchased my pardon on Calvary's tree. I love thee for wearing the thorns on thy brow. If ever I love thee, my Jesus, 'tis now. I love thee in life, I will love thee in death, and praise thee as long as thou lendest me breath, and say when the death dew lies cold on my brow, if ever I love thee, my Jesus, 'tis now. In mansions of glory and endless delight, I'll ever adore thee in heaven so bright, and sing with a glittering crown on my brow, if ever I love thee, my Jesus, 'tis now. Seems remarkable that so young a Christian should have had the grasp of life and Bible doctrine to write this. In any case, its beautiful message has lifted many a weary spirit, put words to the dumb devotion of many a worshiping soul. May it be a blessing to you. And have you talked to God today?
You have been listening to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him by email at godsfiveminutes@gmail.com. Tune in next time to hear more encouraging thoughts from God's Word on God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson.